Welcome to a mini lesson on the topic of motorsports press releases. This is the third and final video I'm posting as a sneak peek into the lessons that are taught in an online motorsports marketing course that starts January 25th. The two previous lessons were on sponsorship proposals and branding, which are available on my channel. Now, let's get started. PR versus publicity. Publicity and public relations are often wrongfully considered one and the same. In fact, publicity is just one aspect of public relations. Publicity concerns a company, organization, or individual's presence in the media. Forms of publicity include news stories, articles, and event information. Publicity creates public awareness and attention around a brand, and publicists gain publicity for their clients by promoting. Unlike public relations, publicity is used solely to attract attention. It differs from PR in the sense that public relations focuses on more than just public attention. The intent in public relations is to accomplish an organization's stated goals by sending strategic messages to the appropriate audiences in hopes of impacting their knowledge, behaviors, or attitudes. In short, PR manages the overall reputation of the client while simultaneously building relationships among all those who are affected by it. As a management function, PR focuses on building relationships and managing an image. So a public relations professional is responsible for all of these things: media kits, news releases, media monitoring, crisis management, event coordination, etc. We're going to focus on news releases for this lesson, which is also called press releases. So motorsports press releases, when are they needed? Well, announcing race results for one, but you need to be careful with this one. Unless it's a personal best, a win, or some sort of story like beating adversity, journalists likely won't care. Next, announcement of a new sponsor or of schedule changes, team announcing a driver change or team announcing crew changes, some sort of special announcement. So this would be like crisis management or like an accident update, statement on a contract breach, an employee death, race postponement, cancellations, etc. Notice of a new or change in rules. So this would apply for sanctioning bodies or something like SFI, and then announcement of a broadcasting addition or change. These are all just examples. There is, of course, way more. Next, let's go over the content inside a press release. Just like in all writing pieces, you want to start with the 5 W's. So that is who, what, where, when, why, and how. A good press release contains all that information. Formatting. So the main sections in a press release include the headline, location, the body, so the information, a boilerplate, and the contact information. So here is a NASCAR press release that we're going to look at more detail. So when you think of a press release, you automatically think of where it says the for immediate release. Well, why does it say that? Because sometimes people send out a press release that needs to be released on a certain date instead of right away. So if it isn't supposed to be posted until, say, next Friday, it would have for release on that date. Include a company logo at the top if you have one. So there's the for immediate release, and then here is the title. So you use a short, clear headline focused on the audience. Why would they want to read this press release? So put as much information in the title as you can without making it too long. Every press release needs to start with the location and then the date. So as you can see, the city is in capitals, and then the state is not, and then the date is written out in long form. The city is usually the company headquarters, or if this was like a accident update, they would do the track that they were at, for example. Let's go over to content. So here is the content. Anytime you do a quote, you should start a new paragraph. And as you can see, it's very short. It's very basic. The boilerplate is actually longer than the content. But basically, it just says who they are, International Speedway Corporation, what they did. So they announced a donation. How much, right here. A quote. Usually a good press release will have a quote or two. And then for more information, you contact them. So these 3 pounds indicate that that is the end of the press release. Next, if there is a photo included, which there probably was within this file. So this was emailed and then there was a photo also attached. There was a photo. So if there's a photo attached, be sure to include description and the photo credits. As you can see, the boilerplate, or what is also called editor's notes, is actually longer than the press release, but that is because this is being sent to multiple media outlets that might not know a lot of information about all of the different companies that are involved. So they have information about their relationship with the Center for Women and Men, then information about ISC, and then information about NASCAR themselves. Be sure to only use hyperlinks if it is sent in PDF where it's clickable. If it's a website link that is just text, then that does no good. And then at the bottom here, it has the contact information. So that can either usually be at the top or at the bottom. But yeah, so that's generally how a professional press release is formatted and created. Now to distribution. Press releases are meant to gain media attention. The goal is to have a journalist write a story from the information in the press release and to provide them with all the information necessary to make their job easy. So you don't want to leave out critical information. So the media channels. So motorsport specific media channels would be newspapers with a sports and motorsports section. So the Associated Press, the Charlotte Observer are examples. Magazines, so Speedway Illustrated, PRI magazines, and these can be online magazines too. And online magazines differ than from online news sources because usually it's all together in one e-magazine type of thing versus just being posted on a website. So next is online news sources. So NASCAR has The Athletic or their own website, then there's Speed Sport. Racing podcasts, plenty of them nowadays, and those would be a good way to get some media attention. And then series and sanctioning bodies, because they will distribute that on their social media or through their partners and through their sponsors. General media channel examples are radio stations, television stations, and newspapers. Press releases are almost always emailed unless there's a press conference event where they are handed out physically. Before sending out a press release to a media channel, be sure to contact them to make sure you have the right contact to send your PR to. If it doesn't get in the right hands, then that's not going to do any good. Best practices. Always send it via PDF file or a link. Keep it short and to the point, 4 to 5 paragraphs maximum. Only include the boilerplate or editor's notes to news sources who may not be familiar with your company, series, event, sport, driver. For example, editor's notes are not necessary if you're sending Speed Sport a press release about winning a race for the World of Outlaws. They know about World of Outlaws and they probably know about the track that you won at. Do not post whole press releases on social media. We'll go over that next. Be newsworthy. Not every announcement needs a press release. So like I said, if you are a driver rep and they finish 20th in an Xfinity race, you probably don't need a press release for it. Of course, unless it's included in a sponsorship newsletter that you send once a week or something, but it probably doesn't need to be distributed to the media. So in a press release, tell a story, such as talk about a new sponsor who came on board who the driver has personal ties with. You want to convey a story and you want journalists to pick it up and be able to actually write a story on it. Include photos, of course, with the appropriate photo credits and permission. Keep the personality of the writing in tune with your brand guide and style. Don't forget to include up-to-date contact information. I prefer the contact information to be within the letterhead or at the very bottom. Sometimes you'll see it included near the immediate release part, which I think takes away from reading the title, especially if it's sent through a link. Because when you think about it, when you send a link to somebody, a preview might come up. And if all you see is contact information for immediate release and the date, then they're not even going to see a sneak preview on the title, and they might not even open it. All right, so social media. Now, the press release is one of the best ways to get your message out, but writing a press release for social media is not like writing a traditional press release. It is important to note that social media press releases do not replace traditional releases. They do, however, complement them. Posting a traditional press release on social media can have negative effects, like it sends the press release to the wrong audience, potentially. It takes out the news aspect of the press release and takes out credibility. Journalists are less likely to write a story based on your press release because it has already saturated social media channels, so there's no point for them to cover it as well. So, what is the right way to post one on your social media pages? Social media is not made for heavy text, especially platforms such as Twitter where characters are limited. If you did choose to post a photo of your traditional press release, it would be difficult for someone to read because they'd have to zoom in and out, but most often they would probably just scroll past it. Social media press releases need the most basic information, so if you can fit the 5 Ws into even a couple sentences, that would be best. Social media is also meant to be engaging, so including photos, videos, or GIFs help attract readers. Use social media and the web to your advantage. If you're posting about a new event, then link the website to buy tickets. Or if you are announcing a new sponsorship deal, then include a coupon for that sponsor's product. Social media press releases are both for the media and your target market, whereas traditional press releases are given directly to the media for them to convey your message to the public or the target market. As you can see, I made a small image social media release based on the information from the press release we went over in the formatting section. This social media image has a title, what they did, where, who, and the when is included on the timestamp when it's posted. What would be better would be to include a video of the donation being made or the photo that was included with the press release. But for this purpose, it's just an example. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helped answer some common questions about motorsports related press releases. If you want to learn more about the Motorsports Marketing course starting on January 25th, please fill out the interest form below this video. Thanks for watching.